It's a professional show, everybody.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back.
Ladies and ladies, welcome back to the Producer Lounge. Folks, this is what I just said it was. This is the Producer Lounge.
It is what we say it is, huh?
Folks, if you don't know, we're live right now on Twitch.
Are we?
Yeah, twitch.tv/always400.
Do we do this
official.
live?
Yeah. So if you didn't understand what just happened, it's because you're not watching live. So swing by, give us a follow. Folks, we're going to talk about music production for the next who knows how long, and we have a very
Could be
special.
days.
We have a very special.
Slow tomato.
He's educated. Don't call him slow Ed, but he's
Jesus.
Folks, he's magnificent. Give it up for Slomato. He's doing great. How are you, buddy?
Good, man. I'm feeling very slow.
Quite the introduction.
He's being a little slow.
Keep this mic right up in there.
Yeah, if you need to scoot in, like I scoot my chair, yeah, you can do that too.
Did this sound nice?
Oh, yeah. The new spot, right?
Dude, I like it.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
How's everyone feeling?
We're good.
Dude, I'm pumped. Been looking forward to this day for quite some time.
Nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, we got big things to talk about.
Yeah.
Real big things.
We got some real big plans,
folks,
right now.
I don't want to give it away.
Yeah.
Can we hint at it somehow?
What's the tease? You teasing me?
Well, the teasing is just this episode, really. No, but there's a number of things we could be talking about.
Also, what's up, Fervor in chat? Fuck, how's Boyo slaying the scene?
Oh, hello.
First things first, though, guys.
Go Cleb. Cleb is so good.
We're gonna get a big shout out to pleb_ for the follow 6 days ago.
Wait, is that real?
Shout out pleb. We love plebs in the chat.
Plebs in chat.
Also, huge shout out to Grammy Mouse for the tier 1 gifted sub.
Damn.
Plebby Stannis Award.
To Photon Scar. Wait, what?
I said Plebby Stannis Award.
What he said.
Plebby Stannis.
And what up, Fervor? Welcome.
Hello. Yeah.
How is everyone?
Dude.
I know what we could talk about. We were talking about sampling in the kitchen.
Yes.
While we were
pre-pod.
Having some dinner.
Sampling kitchens. I like where this is going.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess the thing would be, what sort of sampling things are you fucking with at the moment?
I've been... I feel a little old-fashioned maybe, but lately I've been doing a lot of the multi-sampler stuff in Ableton, where it's like you put everything in like the slice mode, and then like from there you just kind of do all the processing to do like wild stuff. And also, shout out John, he showed me this Max for Live tool called Modulate. That's
shout out Restraint.
Pretty cool. It's called Modulate CC, and it's basically like... Essentially, it's like a modular universe, and you're basically like routing things into each other to do different things. Like if you want something to oscillate super fast, if you want something to do something very specifically within like a parameter that you set, you can set it really intensely. Like lately I've been doing that with multi-sampling, and I throw that filter on, and I make the filter like 1 something of a second, and it'll be like this. And so like you'll get this like
just goes so hard.
Yeah, and you can like automate it. Kind of sounds like that kind of detoxy, like you can.
Right. Okay.
So that's pretty fun.
Let's go. Yeah, that plugin is insane too, because you basically, there's like so many options for the little what are those little things called that you put into a mod unit? Whatever those.
They're basically like modules.
Modules,
it's like
yeah.
they're like that versions of module. I just universally always say if it's anything that you're putting into another program that's like built to do that, it's a module. At least that's just what it makes sense in like my brain.
Right, 100%. Yeah.
Totally. So it's like a bunch of plugins in one that you can attach to each other. And
Kind of. It's like a...
What is it called?
It's called Modulate, CC. It's like a Max for Live tool. The other cool thing it does, too, is there's another parameter that you can set on it that the other thing that's fun on multi-sample, you can set it to hit different transients, and you can like say like you can do it every eighths or fourths, 16ths, and it'll play a different transient in the multi-sample chain. So
okay.
So instead of playing like when you're doing one slice mode and you're hitting the keyboard and it's only playing that one note that's registering, every time you hit it, it'll go. It'll start scanning the whole sample and like playing through all of them. And you can set it.
Okay.
So you can set it to play like all the samples or just play like 3 or 4 that you really like, which is kind of cool.
Word. Okay, I thought this is a different thing than I thought. This is cool. I haven't heard of this yet. Then.
Yeah, it's shout out John. John's the one who put me onto it, and
it's called Modulate CC.
Yeah, and I think it's a Max for Live thing. I don't know if it's it's not like a plugin. It's like part of Ableton. So you probably have to download it through.
Right.
Let's see if I.
Is it like one of the things they added for 12, or has this been in 11?
No, you can just download it. And it's like a. Damn, this is something different.
It's not this thing, right?
No, but it is same form, kind of close. It's weird. I'll find a link. Yeah. I'll definitely find a link for you fellas because it's
weird.
John built a couple things too that are insane. Like he figured it out.
Of course.
As he normally does.
Yeah.
And was like, check out what it does.
Dude probably spent 2 weeks in his basement and nonstop playing with it. Oh, Didn't even go out to eat.
No. No, he's just like, what does this do?
Yeah. That's cool though. So you've been fucking around with that a bunch?
Oh, speaking of sampling, do you guys know what rolling sampler is?
Rolling or rolling?
Rolling, like ROLLING.
No.
I just found out because of John.
It's a plug. Yeah. So actually, John and I found it at the same time.
Hell yeah.
Our friend Backleft, also Backleft, he showed me Rolling Sampler, and it's basically just an open waveform. It just records everything you do. This is a sound, like if you do a lot of sound design, this plugin is essential.
Oh, shit.
So you can basically just open it in your DAW, and then whatever so like think about all the times you're automating something, right? And you get that sweet spot where you're like, oh, that's really cool, but I don't have 6 hands to like automate everything at once. Well, that artifact, everything you did just got recorded, and then boom, as they're doing in the video, you can just drag it
right in, right?
And it's instant too. You can set it to do like 30 seconds to 10 minutes of recording. But the only downside is though, if you're not quick enough, it overlaps. So if you're doing hour-long sessions, you got to be quick and be like, okay, I did this like a couple minutes ago.
That seems like it would be good for workflow though.
It's awesome for
workflow. Save things.
If you're trying to build a sample pack really quick too, it's ideal for it. Especially if you're like, I don't know, I've found so many uses for it. Like I'm recording a bunch of different kicks or snares, basses.
Yeah.
Like when I'm doing really sensitive patches that are really finicky. Like have you ever made something really finicky and you're like, I can't touch one dial on this or it's fucked. Like or it's gonna sound out of like dissonant or whatever.
So fragile.
So this tool is really nice for like capturing everything that you're doing, even like the fun mistakes too. And then I don't know, it's made songwriting so much more fun because now I'm getting all these things that would take me probably like an hour to program, but because I accidentally did it while I was sound design moving things earlier, it's just there and I can
And this so let's say you have it set to like 10 minutes or whatever, it just records that 10 minutes and then overwrites.
Yeah, so
like as you're doing it.
Yeah, it's just constantly going, and then once it hits the end of the bar, it just resets.
Okay.
It'll just start over. So really essential for
I could see that. I could see that. Sick. Oh, so that is kind of weird though. It's not like a consistent 10 minutes. It will just like fully reset. Yeah. So if you record a cool thing right at the very last minute, you're like fucked.
It'll overlap. So like it goes like this. So it'll go time, and then it'll start over. The waveform will stay, but then it'll start going.
Oh,
so it doesn't wipe it. Sorry, I should have been more specific.
Yeah. You're good.
It won't wipe your progress, but it'll start over and then start going. But
just overwrite the waveform again. Okay.
And it's this company is sick. It's $20, and also
that's a good price.
And they have unlimited license. Like, I don't want to drag out the company, but this license has been shared a bunch with a lot of people.
That works for us.
$20 for like 10 people.
Yeah.
So one of you could buy it and then and it's a download folder. You can just send it and then that's it. It's on your computer.
That's amazing. These people, whoever made this, they know how producers think then because they're like, people are going to send it and try and crack it. Like, might as well just give unlimited licenses and 10 people can pitch $2.
What's cool about it too is there was this other program, which of all places I found is through a random Twitter post, but there was another program that was similar to this called birds.ie. Which I think it's actually these guys, because that was like a beta, and then they like disappeared, and I was like so angry because I was like, that's exactly what I need, and then all of a sudden this popped up, and it looks like the exact same thing.
Oh, nice.
So I wonder if it's the same. So I wonder if it's the same people, and they were like, oh, this is what we need to do to fix it, and
right, something like that.
rectify all the programming and everything.
Speaking of sampling, we were talking about also in the kitchen sampling. There's this fun website called Samplet, which will you pull that up, Caleb?
Let's go right back here.
If you're ever just bored one day and you're looking for a sample, it's a website that basically will just give you a random sample from YouTube, or a random song, or random like experimental noise, just ambient thing.
Samplet.
It's so much fun. It's so much fun.
So how does it work? You type in like prompts, or
so
just out of curiosity?
There's a filter. Yeah, so you can filter like genre, style, country, time period, BPM.
Oh, that's cool.
So just pick like any random one.
This kind of reminds me of another sampling thing that I used that actually another person shout out, Breadwinner.
This is kind of nice.
Turned me on too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Breadwinner, let's go.
Yeah, he turned me on this program called Radio, and it's a VST, and it's it's kind of crazy. You could even turn it on by itself and just listen to radio across the world, but it's the same thing as rolling sampler. Whatever is playing on the radio, you can just drag and drop.
What?
Yeah, it's fucking nutty.
Oh, that's so sick. I know of like a website that does that, but a VST, that's so much cooler.
And it's the same thing. It's like $20, $30.
Oh,
dude, it's a super cool plugin.
That sounds like a blast.
Sometimes I won't even make music. I'll just click on it when I'm really bored and like just like click on like jazz from like 1910, or no, I'm just kidding, jazz was not invented then, but like it's just some weird obscure, some weird like you didn't think that existed, and then it just plays. Oh,
yeah, so you can just generate a random thing and be like, that's fine. Yeah. Oh, actually, this is sick.
This is a banger.
Go, dude. Alone at my wedding.
Kokani Orchestra.
I don't know why that reminds me of.
That's some hard style right there.
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty quick.
Reminds me of a Sacha Baron Cohen song.
Right.
Dude.
You can also do
blues, classical, funk.
non-music.
Non-music is fun.
Oh, let's go.
Non-music is so weird.
And then it's just, well, apparently it's still some music.
It's still, yeah.
That was a break right there, though.
I know.
That was 5 seconds in. That was a fill. That was a fill.
So that's what's also cool. If like if you find one that's sick and you accidentally click it, it'll keep a little bit of like your previous
like
list.
what you were looking at.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's cool. Is this free or like do you have to?
Yeah, it's just a website.
Damn,
like just you just type in Samplet and it's a free site. Yeah.
Can you then download the?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Or actually,
crazy.
Maybe not. I think you still have to.
No, you can just go to the YouTube.
Yeah, and then you just YouTube to MP3 it,
or just.
And I'll bet.
Or
that bitch.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool.
Right. It's a fun little thing. Oh, ghostly sounds.
Yeah, it goes all over the place.
Squeaky doors.
What are your guys'?
It's pretty dope.
What kind of? I know everyone. I feel like everyone kind of has like a shtick of samples. What would you say? Putting out there, what would you say your favorite types of samples are?
Ooh.
Like,
I guess
shots.
One shots.
One shots are my fucking favorite,
dude. Yeah.
Just a nice bell one shot, or
a lot of good like mallet sounds, impacts.
I love that kind of stuff. It's my favorite.
I'd have to say pads. I love finding pad samples.
Pads are nice.
Or like anything ambient.
I do like atmospheric and ambient shit because it can be used for a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm. Very like malleable shapes.
Right. I also do love just like effects, like I'll sample like sci-fi movies, just little moments that have some crazy like cruiser flyby.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I love that kind of shit.
Oh my god! Speaking of video game stuff, you guys familiar with the game Doom Eternal?
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Fucking the guy, one of the sound engineers for that game, he does all of his sound design in Faceplant. Like
hilarious.
It's all the crazy like metal, like crazy, like all that stuff. He just did that in Faceplant patches.
Damn,
that's crazy.
Good for him.
Beautiful man.
Saw a bunch of like videos of him doing it on like Twitter, where I was just like, "What the fuck?" And he's like, "Yeah, here's like 10 freaking like of this thing," and then like I don't know, I couldn't even wrap my brain. I was like, "Yeah, this guy gets paid a lot of money to do this. What the fuck?"
That's a different type of nerd right there.
Right.
I remember
What a life.
What a life, right? I remember it was like
That'd be
8
so
months
cool.
ago or something. I was really hyped on this Doom Eternal thing that the Whittler was showing on his stream, where in one of their songs at the very tail end of it, if you download it and throw it in Ableton or whatever and play either just the sides or just the mid, it changes the melody and like the whole song.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and somehow it's just like, I don't know how the fuck they did it. Like no one in chat could even fucking figure this shit out. It was so cool though. Because you can't even like hear, I think it's when you collapsed it to mono, then you could hear the melody. But without that, it just sounds like a bunch of noise and random shit, and you can't hear the melody at all.
Oh, that's weird.
It's so sick.
That's pretty
so sick.
Yeah.
It's like tuning white noise. Like white noise is just everything, but you could just tune white noise into like anything. That's super
Something
weird.
like that. Yeah, it's so weird.
That's
It's
kinda
so
cool.
weird.
I like that.
Right? Never seen anyone do that, but maybe it was like this nerd working on it, and he's like, I'm going to sneak this in, see if anyone can
Right.
figure this out.
Have you guys ever seen the DAW that you draw with? Like you don't input nodes or anything. It's called Metasynth. It's a Mac only program.
What?
Maybe
No.
I have
Yeah.
seen this.
Yeah, you don't. I saw it through Ben Jordan, which I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, but that dude's cracked on like audio production.
I don't know.
Okay.
But he did like one of his most recent videos. He like built reverb modules by going into caves and like recording actual reverb and then like running it through programs that would like basically replicate that to make them useful like into things.
Okay.
So he does like big brain shit. But yeah, he did like I wouldn't say like a tech review, but like basically just like a tutorial of Metasynth. But it was nuts. Like it's literally just a box, and he'd be like, "We're gonna draw a smiley face," and it sounds like this crazy like spectral. Yeah, this is it right there. Yeah,
What?
that Curious Dog from Parallel Universe. That video right there.
Hang on.
Yeah, if you guys ever want to see some just absolutely goofy. It's a little long. It's like a half an hour long video, but oh man, right in like the halfway point is where he does the drawing. That's Drumcast, so it's like right here. Go back.
Go to the left a little.
Yeah, the image synth. This shit's crazy.
What?
Like so. And over here we have filters, which will darken certain parts or
Yeah, like he's shading. Like he's talking about shading. Like or like duplicating the sound, like bending the drawing, twist. Like it weird phrasing, but it's nuts.
All right, now.
So did he draw those little like smiley face and shit?
But he did a bunch of like hotkeys that made it duplicate and all that. But he started with just a smiley face and an arrow in a box.
Okay.
Sounds like shit right now, but he turns into like the craziest orchestrated like melody I've ever heard in the end.
What the fuck?
Quantize it and then hit saw.
So painters
See,
can
look,
finally make music.
So like now he turned into a bunch of like stabs or like chords.
Oh, what?
Just from an image.
This is so cool.
But yeah, it's only on Mac though. Only Mac users could use this.
Damn.
Yeah, not.
That's tough.
That's
Yeah,
unfortunate.
Mac only
Maybe a square.
software, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I looked for
I think
it.
I know what's going to happen. It's going to sound like a chaotic, granulated.
So this is the drum part. So he
sampling
just drew like
mess.
drums in.
All right, so of course I could like draw a scribbly mess.
Yeah.
and then
This dude
quantize
does
it.
all kinds of shit. This is just the tip of the
Let's go back
iceberg,
to
the
the
type of
little
stuff he
square
does on
brush.
daily on his
Choose
YouTube.
a brush,
Wow.
Is repeats, which is prox by 128.
But yeah, if you go to the
I should
very
note
end,
the
Yeah,
if you
Ben Jordan,
click
I
on
didn't
the
know
end, you'll
this guy.
hear like
Now we should
the
have our
song
video
he
here.
builds. Yeah, he builds like the prettiest song out of this program, which is so cool.
What the fuck?
But yeah, a very, very interesting DAW. Very, very interesting.
Right?
Seems like it
Yeah.
would be so dope to have it just for the sake of making like
Sound design.
yeah,
or-
doing some sound design kind of shit. Yeah.
I could see that.
Melody
Oh.
stuff or I don't know.
yeah.
Sound effects.
Yeah, like a cool program just to design things in to use in other programs.
Right.
That's how I viewed it too.
I wonder if they're working towards getting it
Oh, he's
on.
playing the keys in.
This is also an old video, so like maybe
Right.
maybe they have format for PC, but
By now, oh, that would be so sick.
and I think the program itself is only like $200, something like that. So like, not like cheap, but not like break the bank type production tool, you know?
True.
Yeah, there's some VSTs we get that are like 300, so
Yeah, exactly.
Serum's like 250 or something, so.
I've spent God knows how much money on useless
Right.
plugins
Same.
that I don't need.
Hell yeah.
Same.
Like people are always like, yeah, buy fat filter, buy that. I'm like, no, I'm gonna buy this one VST that does like morphing and things that I'm only gonna use very situationally, like once a year for like $100.
Right.
Yep.
Like, I don't know why my
Worth it.
I'm like, I won't buy into capitalism, but then it's just VSTs. That's all I can think about.
How it goes
I know,
sometimes.
it's so hard, especially when there's like a new like clipper or like compressor
Or a new synth, or just any kind of
Any fun new thing. It's always
or a
that.
new convolution reverb or something.
Yeah.
I love convolution reverb.
Mhm.
Dude, it's so good.
It's probably one of my favorite reverbs to use. in, like,
Same.
Everything.
Yes.
Same.
True.
It's beautiful.
How are you using them? Are you just doing like the classic dry wet, let it happen? Or are you doing like some parallel fun?
I do a bunch. I use reverb for a multitude of things. So like, reverb's awesome for like one shots and drums to kind of like introduce like some variety in there. Granted, there's not really reverb in drum breaks, so but like in electronic drums, it just gives it like a little more punch. Plus, reverb also like brings out sound in a lot of things. So that's one instant reverb. Another one I like to do is like reverb sweeps, the classic. It's the classic halftime where it's like bass noise, reverb sweep, and then you cut the reverb out into the next noise. So it sounds like air is moving.
Right.
And then also putting reverb. I actually learned this through a SEPA tutorial a long time ago, but putting reverb at the beginning of certain things will bring out a bunch of sounds on certain things. So like if you're trying to build like really greasy kind of like Reese noises with like, kind of like that, almost like that Alex Perez sound, like you would put reverb before the chain.
Oh yeah.
To get like that full like hollow sound kind of.
Yep.
Obviously there's a lot of processing, but that's one cool instance too.
Right.
And then
I gotta do that more. I'm always like in my head. I'm like, oh yeah, reverb goes at the end, so you can have the space moment. But yeah,
especially
like fucking
on a
play
bass
with
sound.
it.
yeah, and reverb is like crazy, dude. Yeah, if you slap reverb like before the beginning of a chain on something, like you get
like
crazy effects.
Make it tight and big.
Yeah,
and does like some cool ass shit when you fucking push it into
like
a bunch of
tight
distortion.
and big.
And that's one.
My convolutions.
Plus, and then also like
baby.
Then like dry chaining reverb too. Like when you go in Ableton and you make a chain and you dry it, just making one channel, just nothing, and then reverb. That also just like keeping the original sound intact, but also adding like
the parallel is fucking amazing.
Parallel chaining and so god tier in Ableton.
I know it's so good, right?
I'm sure it's in all other DAWs. I just don't understand how to do it.
right.
I mean,
it works the same way in Bitwig.
Yeah, in Bitwig it's called a container, but it's just you're just making a little group where you can have a pass through chain and then a wet chain.
Right.
In Bitwig you group it and you get a dry wet knob.
Yeah, which is nice, and you also
or
get a
you
wet
could
gain,
add chains,
which is also fun.
I've also seen in Bitwig, like the coolest thing I've seen that you can do in Bitwig is like in Ableton, if you want to separate out sounds, like say you have a break, which you actually can do this, it's just so much work. But say like you have a break, and you want to extract every sound from that break into individual audio channels. To do that in Ableton, it's like a lot of routing, setting up. In Bitwig, there's literally just a button. You can hit the button, and then all the sounds are just separated from that sample, which is like insane. That Bitwig can just like extract.
But
like that.
But it also can't do other things that are like right next to that, which is a bummer. Like I can't convert audio to MIDI.
Oh,
which is just like it's like right there. You just
they
could do
will-
all these other things. You just can't do that one thing. But I still have Ableton for that exact thing.
I heard
Use it for that.
I heard that Bitwig is actually the other half of Ableton.
Yeah.
So,
it's a lot of guys from Ableton.
Yeah, so like it was like Ableton was like a bunch of people, and then like a group of those people were like fuck Ableton, or for whatever reason, and then they went and did Bitwig.
Yeah, it's kind of how I heard it too.
There's a lore going around.
Yeah.
That's what I've at least heard.
The Bitwig lore.
And I've even heard like the guy who made Bitwig, like if he's like people be like, yeah, it kind of reminds me of Ableton. He's like, no. Its own thing. How dare you? How dare you compare to Ableton? Even though I worked on Ableton, like no, it's not.
It is better for sure. I will say that.
So that would mean Bitwig.
Yeah, low key better.
Yeah, so in that case, that means Bitwig would be German also.
Yeah, it's from Berlin.
So yeah, also German.
Yeah, they make really good DAWs. Those German boys, they know how to.
Too bad we're at war with them at the moment.
Yeah.
There's our little hint.
Oh shit!
We talked about it last week,
but we should talk about it right now. Now that we have somebody in the war with us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He joined the troops, the infantry.
I enlisted, even though
it
wasn't really that hard of a sell.
Yeah.
It wasn't that hard.
Defend your country.
I think
when
they sent
Tom
a text and I was
Finster
like,
takes you to war,
Nice,
you know?
nice. Yep. You're like, oh fuck it, I'm down.
Yeah,
So,
you ever heard Elements
with
by
the
Tom
troops.
Finster? That song's fucking crazy. Say less.
Right. So, folks,
Yeah, those boys slaughter.
if you don't know who Tom Finster is, you can go look him up. If you don't know who Dong Kong is, you can go look them up.
And Barking Continues.
And if you don't know who Barking Continues is, you can look him up. So Barking Continues and Tom Finster are Dong Kong, and they have a feedback stream they do on Wednesdays at noon Mountain Standard Time. I don't know what that time is for them in Berlin.
Right.
I think it would be
Or
late. That's 7 hours ahead of us, or 8 hours.
8 hours or something. Yeah.
So
that's
yeah,
kinda
it'd be
what I'm
like
thinking.
7 or 8 hours ahead of us.
Right. It's like
I believe.
8 p.m. basically.
Yeah, it's fucked.
Right. So, yeah, they do that, and we like to hang out there and throw them some tracks for feedback and whatnot. And apparently, we sent one too many, and they declared war on Always 400.
Yeah.
So, folks, now this community that
Instantly.
you're a part of, yep, we're going to war.
We're going to war.
Yep. I
We need
know,
like
we
a
love war.
Yeah.
It's weird propaganda background stuff.
But for real, this is a real situation. We are going to be shooting people with bass sounds.
We're gonna be blasting people with shapes. It's gonna be triangles.
That's right.
Yeah.
Squares.
There will be
All the
squares.
basic shapes.
Yep.
This is gonna
You don't
happen.
need a degree.
Right.
It's gonna be fun.
This is gonna be happening at the end of March, and we don't know the extent of it yet, but we know it's gonna be basically one battle, and the battle will be 24-hour period to make a track of some kind.
King of the Hill to some degree.
Yeah, and it's 10v10, 10 of our people from Always 400, and 10 from the Don Kong community.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it'll basically just show up in our Discord
Yep. So
more than
exclamation point,
anything
Discord.
on
also-
their feedback channel.
I will also put it in my Discord as well. So
Oh,
Hell yeah.
check it out.
Hell yeah.
It'll be in there as well.
And they're gonna stream the whole event the day after that we all have the 24 hours to make the track. So everyone
Right.
can hop in there, and I don't know if there's gonna be a voting system or how the fuck we're gonna
I
do
don't
all
know how they're
this.
gonna do that. We should get the Whittler to judge it.
Judge
though.
it.
If we could get the Whittler to
No,
judge it, that'd
we'll
be
just
so
get
sick.
just get real meta. We're like, yo, check out this whip, but it's actually the stream, and it's 10 minutes, and the Whittler's just watching a stream of a stream.
Dude, Streamception.
Streamception.
I like that. I like where that's going.
He's like, this stream is sick.
But yeah,
This
so
is just one long tune. It's been like 3 hours.
right.
Fucking
That,
crazy.
yeah, it's because what we do is we
The
barrage.
evolution.
We barrage our enemies.
And then like the next day, he's just pissed because he's like, you guys lied. That wasn't a whip.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Remember your vape pod?
So we're gonna salvo the enemy sometime in the
We're
end
gonna
of March.
salivate on the enemy.
That too.
It's gonna be amazing.
After they're dead.
We did decide when we crush them, as always 400, they're gonna fly out here personally, be on the pod,
And spank us.
and
Yeah, we don't-
spank us live on the pod.
We're not sure what the stakes are.
One gifted
quite
sub
yet.
is a spank.
But hopefully the stakes are high and it's a good time. But we'll keep you informed as to the details as we grow closer to the D-Day.
This is going to be great content in like 2 months on YouTube when it's all over. Like, what the fuck were they talking about?
Yeah, what the fuck?
It'll be great because we could clip this and like make it like a newscast, like we're going to war, and then it's like
Make it on like 1950s style.
and like make a whole actual YouTube video of the war.
It's actually
Just make like a propagandic poster, and it's like,
Right.
I want you, Discord kitten.
yeah,
Like, my bad.
Oh god, Discord
right.
kitten.
I want you, boo boo.
Caleb, you're almost surrounded by war lately. because Kyoto's poster is war themed.
Yeah. Oh my dude.
Going to war with Germany with us. Good lord,
dude. Yeah.
Is it war themed or was it just
Cold War themed?
Soviet themed?
Yeah. So it's like the Cold War theme is what Tom and Nox Lumina, who made the banner, which shout out Nox Lumina.
Cold War. Well, that's hardly a war, but I will give it.
We liked I think he went with that just because like everyone on that lineup too.
I think it's great. I thought it looked sick as fuck. I don't know why people got upset in the first place.
Yeah, and a lot of people. So what's interesting about
confused.
that? A lot of people were kind of upset at that show because the whole point of it is we want to make from what I know and from the message that's been broadcast to me is that Tom and everyone on board, we all feel that there is like a weird discrepancy in like people getting paid during shows, like because Tom made at that point like, yeah, the headliner makes all the money, but like why should the headliner make 5 times as much as like the direct support or like the guy or like the sound guy or the VJ? Like why should that guy take every penny when there's like it's such a group effort all together to put these shows together? And like so the show is like Tom's way of like putting our pay public, because the pay was interesting. We all were in a group and we all had a vote on who gets paid what, and we had like an allocated budget, and we all like unanimously basically like voted like who should get the most. And
that's fun. So
then that's going to be publicized, and then it's also like the budget was also publicized for like what the sound people make, what VJs are going to make, and like so it's basically just showing the public like, here's what happened. Like, this is something that a lot of people are invested in. Here's like where your money goes.
Yeah, here's
like,
the breakdown.
Here's like the breakdown of like what your money goes to, and like also showing for hopefully in the future that like people that are into the scene could kind of have like kind of inspiration of like, oh man, like I think it only takes like a few people to make an example, but if you could make a set of young people also be like, man, that's fucked up. Seeing all those discrepancies when so many other people for years have been like, well, that's just how it is. It's really cool to try and be a part of an idea that, maybe nothing will change of it and everything goes the same, but like being able to plant any kind of seed of a thought in other people's brains of like, oh, so that's how like everything works. Because even when we were building the show, one of the openers and some of the other people that we were like, granted, they're in the scene and they've been to a lot of shows, but like it's actually quite surprising how many people actually don't know like the schematics of like getting paid out for a show and like how everything works. And like and it's even crazier, like as fucked up as it is, like the amount of people you talk to, they love everything about the scene, but it's insane when they're like, oh, the VJ doesn't get paid. It's like a lot of people don't know about that kind of shit, so it's just bringing light of like a lot of that stuff to light with. So the show's only gonna be a banger, but also like a nice ideal for the scene.
Yeah.
That's
and
tight.
planting the seeds, totally. I've definitely been just thinking about things differently, like, oh, that is a possibility. You can do it this way. You can talk to everyone working here and be like, what is fair for all of us?
Yeah, and like, I don't know. And it's also cool, too, because it being part of the show, too, it feels way more invested. Like, it's not just like someone's hitting you up on Facebook Messenger being like, yo, you want to fill a spot in the lounge tonight? And then you show up and there's probably nobody there. Or they're like, yo, here's a drink ticket. So, like, it feels like you're actually a part of something rather than like, oh, just show up and play music. It feels more like it's just the investment. I think we as people like to be invested in anything we do,
right?
And when we can't be invested, then it's like I don't know, you either become complacent to a degree or just figure out something else. It's kind of weird.
But
yeah, throwing shows in the electronic community it's a very weird thing. It can be either very big and grand, or it's like you're in a fucking warehouse with some guy that's like, oh, do you know what Function 1 was before Function 1? Turbo sound. And I have this turbo sound rig that's broken that you're gonna play on. That sounds awful. And that's like the type. Yeah. So like
it's from like 2002, and they're like, it still sounds great.
And this is a real story, and it was actually 2004.
Oh
yeah. So fucking
damn.
Yeah, it do be like that.
And also they put sound on the budget too. Like, why doesn't every show have some kind of discussion about sound? Like, it feels almost fucked up that so many people out here are like crafting for hours and hours for whatever their reasons are, just to like get the opportunity to play on shitty speakers.
Oh, so on some like, potatoes, basically.
It's like somebody
like I understand
trying to do a movie night and they fucking don't have a TV.
Yeah, it's like I get it. Like I understand that times are rough, but also it's like all these venues definitely have money to like invest.
Yeah.
And the sound system, yes, is expensive, but if you're selling shows out all the time and whatever,
then you need to budget better,
right? And like I don't know,
run.
That's just me. I'm just an audio snob. Like that's
amen, brother.
That's a perfect world that everywhere has just nice speakers.
I've also noticed like certain places, their mixer setup is not ideal.
Dropped it.
Like I know some of the homies have played at certain places and like the Q button barely worked and a bunch of the hotkeys didn't work and they just had to deal with it, you know?
Yeah, it's pretty standard shit.
It's funny, actually.
Something is standard.
Something that's kind of hard to explain on here, but a really, really helpful CDJ trick I learned. So I don't know if you guys know, but on the newer mixers, there's a hidden menu. So if you have you guys ever seen the quantize button in the top right on the mixer?
Mm-hmm.
Right where the effects are? If you hit that button and hold it, a secret menu will pop up and it's the actual settings for the CJs. You can go over to the limiter on there and you can set it to be like -12 plus 12 and unlock it. So when you're playing, you're actually creating more headroom for the mixer to mix your tunes. So if you have quiet tunes, you can unlock that setting in CJ, and then not only does that make your music sound better when you're playing, it also helps the sound guy playing do his job correctly. That's forbidding that it's an actual good sound engineer, not some hack, which that does happen. But yeah, you can basically push the headroom on CDJs to like a certain parameter. That way, like if you're mixing on,
I did not know that.
Yeah, so if you're mixing on certain speakers or like certain things, you can unlock that feat. I'll show you guys after the pod too, and I wish I had a more better visual description because it's kind of hard. It's a lot of weird little things you got to do.
That's sick,
right.
But yeah, like you unlock headroom on the mixer to be louder and not sound so
fucking
blown out.
sick.
So yeah, if you're playing, so for all the people who watch this in the future, underground producers that are mixing in shitty rooms, shitty speakers, you can unlock that on the mixer and make your shit sound better.
And blow a hole right through that cone.
Bad at it'll be blown, but it'll sound good.
It'll sound good.
It won't sound distorted.
So is that just like a thing you do every show now? You just double check.
Well,
make sure that's set.
Kind of. Technically, if the sound person's ideal, they would have already had that set up on the CJ. But that was something that's nice to know because there's a lot of times I've played. Because the way I learned to mix, I went to constant house parties, played really weird places, in and out of the state, everywhere. Like anywhere you could play, I did. And there was just a lot of times where if I had known that trick sooner, I feel like I could have made a difference in some of my sets musically, at least depending on the location. Like if I play Black Box or Cervantes, wherever, it's not really going to be an issue. But like if you're playing like a super low key show somewhere, like someone set up a rig in their garage, because at least in Denver, that's a pretty common thing. Just people setting up in fucking houses and just ripping the decks.
They're like, get all the homie DJs in here. Let's just send it.
We do it here, but we don't like invite people here like it's a show.
Yeah.
That's my downside too. In Denver, is everywhere that when I was learning CJs, it was only like it grew up on dubstep, but goddamn, like everywhere I learned, it was only 140. And there were even times where I like DJ'd parties and places, and they were like, "You're mixing at 83? The fuck? Like that is like a real statement that's been said to me multiple times by people in the scene." I'm like, dude,
what does it matter?
Yeah, like, but it was crazy. Like everyone that would get on, it would always be just 140, like that. So I just had to kind of learn 140
for sure.
Just kind of had to. Well, it was a useful skill. Now I know how to make dubstep and like know roots and stuff. But I don't know. I've always been my brain just. Like my brain just works at 80s, 90s.
Sure. I do like the
or way faster than 140.
70s.
Yeah, 70's been the 78's been my BPM.
70s are nice. Yes, 78 is so good, dude.
I'm currently wrapping up a 4-song EP, the first release I've done in a long time, besides like a few random things. But yeah, 2 of the tunes on there are 78 BPM and they're very swangy.
Nice.
70's got swing. There's like a swing zone in 70 BPM.
It's got swang up there.
It's got swang.
It's 56? 156?
Yeah, that's also the sweet spot too.
78?
150 is also that. When I first started producing, that was my I loved 150 because I wanted to be G Jones, and all G Jones like trap beats at the time in like 2012 were 150.
I wanted to be Virtual Riot when I first started. It's just like heavy rhythm shit. So 150. Oh, and also like Beta Nectar before he was canceled.
Yeah.
Wanted to be like that kind of sound, style, whatever the fuck. It is funny though, going from like 140, 150 to 90, 86.
Yeah, that's what happened to me. Like let's see, yeah. So I started producing in like 2011, but in the beginning I used something called Mixcraft, and that was techno breaks, and it was funny.
That was your DAW?
Yeah, it was a DAW, but it wasn't really a DAW. You couldn't like, at the time I didn't even know what the fuck I was doing, but like when I look back at it now, all you could do was like you had a set library that just came with it, and then you could just like, it had a session view and like a few things, but there was no effects, there was no like beat matching, even arranging things. The setup was like so hard, but at the time I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. But I made like a bunch of like 180 like techno beats, or I wouldn't even say techno. But I remember going to school and it was right when SoundCloud came up. I remember putting like a whip on SoundCloud, and it was even funnier. It was private and it got flagged because it was used off Mixcraft. So it's like all the samples were like
hilarious.
Owned by Mixcraft. So I put it on SoundCloud privately just to show my friends, and then not even before getting on the bus to school, I got an email like on my iPod. It was like, yeah, this song's been flagged. You can't fucking do that. Fuck. And then
so dumb.
And then every song I made on there too. Yeah. God, 2011, 2012.
Good days.
Different time for music.
Yeah. Oh my God, right?
When the concept of making a screechy bass noise was like a far-fetched wet dream, and now it's like, oh, no one even does that anymore.
No one even cares.
No, we're past that now.
It's 10 fucking
We're
right.
far past that.
It is insane how fast things can evolve in just 10 to 13 years.
Yeah, I feel like the quality right now is fucking insane.
Insane.
Yeah.
The level is just so high.
Yeah.
It's crazy what a couple soothes on a row will do to a sound, you know?
A couple soothes.
Yeah.
Do you guys
couple clips.
I have a question, because I feel like a lot of people ask me this, but I'll ask it you guys first. How many DAWs have you guys gone through? Do you guys think you go through DAWs, or do you guys still go back to things? Or if you guys ever use multiple DAWs?
No, I usually will just like use one, but I started on FL, worked mostly in Ableton, and now I'm on Bitwig. But I've used Cubase before a little bit.
I've used Cubase like a couple times.
I've used Pro Tools or Logic. I don't know, one of the two. They in my brain they're the same thing. But
do you guys
just
ever,
like
you guys ever use
barely?
You guys ever use Reaper?
Oh,
no, but I've looked at it.
No, Reaper would be insane.
I haven't.
That was the second DAW I ever used.
Wow.
For all of 5 months.
Is that the one that Dan Warhol uses?
I think so, maybe.
I think so, yeah.
Some people still use it, but like very, very far in between.
Right.
Yeah, I went through GarageBand.
I also
and then
GarageBand.
Ableton. It was more like Acid, Cubase, Ableton, GarageBand, Ableton, Bitwig.
Okay.
In the long term, but it's mostly Ableton. And Bitwig.
I tried Reason a long time ago when I was in like early high school, and I remember being like, "This is awful."
Jesus, it's like 7 DAWs.
Yeah,
just testing them out. Let's go.
Well, yeah, and then I crashed my mom's computer so many times that very angrily one Christmas when I was like 15, after like I fucked my mom had like a shitty, like those old school desktop HPs.
Yeah.
Like the box that was like this big.
Yeah.
It was all gray, beige.
Yep.
Yeah, like I blue screened that computer multiple times, downloading just sketchy shit. And finally, my mom's like, I need to use that for work here. And so they angrily bought me Ableton Intro. And my mom didn't even know what to use. She just like did some quick research and was like, oh, Ableton, here.
Take
and then
this.
and then even funnier, so happened to have that. I was graduating high school early, but I couldn't stay.
Smarty pants over here.
It wasn't because of Smarty Pants. It's because I thought I was going to fail. And so I did summer schooling, and then I got way ahead because I did summer schooling.
Oh, it's sick.
So not because I was smart. It's just because I had stayed in school for like one whole year when I was in high school.
Nice.
Poor guy. Sorry.
Nah. But I went to a trade school as like a turnoff. So half the day at high school when I was like a junior, senior, I would be at high school, and then I would take my car and I would go to a trade school. And I did graphic design because before I did music, I was a painter, drawer, and I still do.
Oh,
sure.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, actually, this new EP I'm doing all my own cover art.
Let's go.
And it's been a long time since I've done that, so it's gonna be cool.
Hell yeah, man. That's what's up.
But it's funny. That was before music. Music at that time was not even like I still went to a bunch of shows and all that stuff, but it wasn't really like a blip in my radar.
Sure.
Then I went to a trade school and I did like a graphic design program, and the teacher is like the guy who created like the Singular mobile logo, which that company's not even around anymore, but he like did all the branding for that company.
Nice.
But
Singular.
And then 6 months in, I realized I fucking hate Photoshop. I hate graphic design.
I don't like it either.
Oh, yeah.
As someone who's like comes from painting and drawing, like you would think that I would like it, but no, like I despised it. And then they were like, well, and I was kind of like a shithead kid. Like I almost got expelled from that school because they have a super strict swearing policy. And when I would do Photoshop, I'd be like, fuck. And they'd be like, dude, come on, man, like stop.
Come on, Cleb, stop it.
I even went to the principal's office verbatim once, and they'd bring my mom in, and then after, my mom literally was like, dude, the fuck, come on, why? And I was like, oh, I wonder where I got it from. So because of that, I was very frustrated, and they were like, well, you have to be here. You're stuck here. You have, and I was like, well, what else is there to do? Because there was like a trade school. There's a bunch of shit. You could learn how to paint cars. There was like just cook. You could do like chef stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
They had an audio production one, but it wasn't to make music. It was to learn AV skills for like cameras and
Right,
stuff.
of course.
But the program they were using so happened to be Ableton.
Ooh.
And so that was my introduction to Ableton.
Fuck yeah.
But it wasn't, I didn't really make music. That was just
interesting.
that was just them like the class was like, okay, here's like how you open the settings, and here's how you route things.
Yeah.
Here's like buffer size. So I learned like all the little details. That it was nothing like here's how to make a kick snare. Like it was all just like stupid routing stuff for like cameras. So my first introduction to Ableton was actually just learning how to route cameras or like weird audio things from like.
Yeah, I didn't learn any of that till much later. My first introduction was like throwing kick drums at it and shit.
Well, then after that, I fell in love with it, and then from there, I couldn't figure out a way to do like Ableton, so I just for years from like 2013 to 2017, I just diddled and just fucked around constantly, and then I met Kyoto, and Kyoto is like the main reason and John. Those are the two dudes that like I was making okay music, but those guys like really. Yeah. Drove the point home. Like,
well, they were like, "Hey, you can come up on top of the hill if you want."
Like
You're like,
Tom,
oh shit.
Yeah, like Tom taught me like drum design, showed me bass design. Like all my bass design is just derivative of all of his old methods. He's moved on, but like now the methods that he used to use, I just use in my own way. With like combined, I also took some lessons from Resling. Resling's like another reason the last few years that my music's been able to be.
Oh hell yeah!
Even more polished.
That dude's got some knowledge to share. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a shame. It was when he was still living in Denver, and then he moved. So
it's too bad.
More of that.
Shame.
Leaving Denver.
Shout out. Fuck yeah, that's sick.
Hell
Jade too. He's another reason I learned how to. He invited me over to his house a couple times after one of my first Black Box shows, and that was like, I don't know. I just got I'm just like super blessed. I got really lucky. Got to experience a lot of these like really monumental like halftime guys. And, and it was so fucked because like in the dubstep scene, everything else, like no one gave a fuck about. Not saying to be like me, but like just no one gave a shit. You know, like everyone's kind of in it, and all those guys like. We're like, hey, what's your name? Like, why are you doing this? Da da da. Oh, like it was very genuine. It wasn't forced. It wasn't like some kind of clout chasing thing. It was just like they were like, hey, your music reminds me of like myself. That's kind of cool. Like the place where I used to be. Like, let's hang out. You know. So that was like, so I'm really gifted to have those connections, and like with you guys too. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, right,
honey.
And it's cool that those like happened organically, like. That's the best part is like you weren't like trying to like leech off of some guy higher up to meet Jade or whatever the fuck.
No, like he blew me away because
Oh yeah,
I've been listening to him forever, and then the first Black Box show I played was with Duffery.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Duffery's sick.
Yeah, I played with Duff Reed and a couple other really cool people. And yeah, Jade was like there when he still lived in Denver, and he like found me at the Black Box, and he was like in the green room. He's like, "Yo, dude, I just want to let you know I don't know who you are, but like that was super sick." Like,
fuck yeah, let's go.
But that was funny. Then
cool.
Then I went to his house. He was like, "You want to play some tunes on the Barefoots?" And I was like, "Nah."
Fuck yeah.
You're like, no, it'll just make me feel bad.
I don't know. And then yeah, I played like 2 of my songs, and he literally was like, "Yeah, you need some work." Didn't compliment or nothing. He was just like, "Yeah, now I see why you didn't want to play." And I was like, "Yeah."
Just super blunt.
Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck, dude.
Dude, John's like that too. Every time I play a song on his track, he has nothing but bad things to say. Anytime anybody plays anything, he's just a complete horrible person about it.
Yeah, but they're not.
He only rails into you.
But he's not horrible about it. He's just autistic about it. He's just like, well,
I'm totally joking.
John's critique is more like questionnaire. I feel like his.
Yeah. No, I was totally joking.
No, it is funny though. But yeah, he's like more like. He's more like commenting because he's also like, he's just always trying to figure out how things are. Like, I don't think he can turn that part of his brain off.
Never.
Like trying to figure things out. Like,
yeah.
I think that's just ingrained into him.
I know, right?
Yeah, he's an interesting case. Well, folks, should we round it up?
Yes. I have one more question I need to write.
Oh.
Jade Seconda. Jade Seconda. He's Mexican, guys. Just in case you didn't know.
Okay.
Caleb, who's a artist you're hyped on right
now? Jerry Lee Lewis.
Not you, Caleb. Kleb.
In I guess what realm? Music, like
anything.
I just assumed it was me.
I guess preferably electronic, but
Jerry
literally
Lee
any.
I think right now the few artists I'm kind of biased because they're also my friends, but I think the people I'm super honored to see, I'm super curious to see their futures and also excited for the futures. But like Breadwinner, Backleft, Uga, Kaiser, I've been really curious about. I also found this one guy recently. His name is Ranatat. He has like no following, but he makes like crazy like volume sounding kind of like halftime. Ranatat. Yeah, it's like R-A-N.
Oh, like so super like jazzy melodic, and you're like, oh my god, you know what you're doing.
Yeah, like really. Yeah, and he like does a lot of genre, like electronic genre bending. That's super sick. And then on the non-electronic side, I've been really digging this band called The Garden.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and that band gets my socks off.
AT&AC really like those guys.
Oh, dude, they're awesome.
Sexy.
Yeah,
that's hard to milk a sock.
Such an awesome band.
True.
I'll tell them that later, and they'll just be like, "Oh my god, The Garden!" We were literally when we were outside smoking, they were talking about The Garden. So that's dude, insane that you brought that up.
Oh, dude. So yeah, I recently now have a new girlfriend, and she put me on to that band, and
woo.
Yeah,
she's got good taste.
She does. She very does.
She very does.
She very does.
Well, speaking of good taste, we have a question came into us from X.
Oh, straight from X? Just
question
now live?
From Jade Seconda.
Oh.
Using sync while DJing, overrated or underrated?
I was just telling one of the guys how much I hate this fucking debacle.
Yeah, I know. That's why I brought it up.
Sync to me is just a tool that exists.
Yeah, it's a wrench.
It's a tool that exists in the realm of DJing, and whether or not you use that tool or not to your liking or to your needing is up to you, and it's a preference. I think
it's a great answer.
And I think BeatSync is also, it's just a tool. Like, if you're like on the fly, like if you prefer not to use BeatSync because that's your learn, then go for it. If you
have more fun,
go for it. I also think BeatSync's like useful for instant, like if you're trying to experiment while you're mixing and you're like in the moment, you need to get back to where you were really quick. Sync. It just and it's like within a 5-second gap, you can just sync really quick, and so it's like a good savior tool. I don't know. It's just like it's a tool that is used to your discretion, and I think the fact that people make it such a thing is just weird to me because I feel like why does it matter? Like
Agreed.
Yeah.
Like why does it actually
just because it's new? That's why they're like it's new, it's different. I don't like it.
And I was just saying too, like sync is it's like the great debacles of DJing and music making. It's like that's one of the top 3. And then there's like the whole debacle on sidechain compression. There's the whole debacle on what DAW's better. There's all.
Well, that's kind of over now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
After Big 5.
It is new and different, and therefore we should fear it.
Everyone
with
knows.
the announcement of PC2.
Yeah.
Right.
God damn it.
So it's overrated or underrated?
I think it can be both.
Okay.
I think it depends on what your intention is too. Like if you're some shitty bar DJ and you're only syncing, but you're trying to be good at DJing and that's the only excuse you have to mix, then that's fucking overrated as hell.
Don't quit your day job, bro.
But but on the other side of the spectrum, if you're some fucking DJ elitist that's like, oh, you use beat sync, psh, you're not a real DJ. Like, dude, fuck that guy. Like,
amen, brother.
I don't know. It's like, I feel like it's
that's fair. That's fair, dude. Yeah.
So I think it depends on the situation. It really depends on the situation and who you're talking to a beat, because there's always going to be people that abuse tools for things that they shouldn't, and then there's people who use those tools for useful purposes.
There's mechanics that use wrenches.
It's all context.
And there's murderers who use wrenches.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
Agreed. Their tools, appropriately rated, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
that was a tool response, bro. I'm just kidding.
Is a canned response.
You tell him.
I'll just say underrated.
You say underrated?
Yeah, just because most of the DJs I've met have no grasp on like normal reality. They're just like clout chasing, and it's like, guys, it's fine. Sync button's nothing to be scared of. It's okay. You don't have to be doing this the whole time you're DJing. You can just hit it, and then you can like do fun things.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially if you figured it out in Record Box beforehand.
Right.
Also, sync is like such a great learning tool.
Yeah,
it's great for learning, especially when you're like figuring out how to mix. Yeah. Dude, it's a great tool.
But it can also fuck you up if you haven't done the proper pre-planning in Record Box, and you're trying to mix 140 to 72. Yeah. And so you hit sync, and now it tries to throw that 72 all the way up to 140, and you're like, oh no, I should have just beat matched that one. Yeah, it's a tool.
It is just a tool. Yeah, the fact that someone was saying whoever was it AT or AC? He was saying about beat matching. He's
AC.
Like, talking about how beat matching was controversial. I was like, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, it was.
That's nuts.
Not anymore. If you just step away from it.
Beat matching's crazy because that's not even a tool. That's just like a technique. That's
right. It was a necessary thing to know before sync was a thing.
Before sync was a thing. When did sync come around? Also, it would have been like early 2000s.
Probably whenever
it was in the
even 90s. The 2Ks?
Not definitely not 90s.
You don't think so?
No,
like 98?
No,
not at all.
No. We're talking 2010s, 2012.
They were still spinning on like Stone Age boulders in the 90s.
Right. No.
Yeah.
So hard to beat matching must have been so fucking hard.
Oh, I know, dude.
You're just sitting there, you're nudging it, and you're changing the speed at the same time to try and find that pocket.
Well, that's why
the only way to achieve that too is like true practice. Like,
not only that, but pre-planning. Again, you like are at home with a metronome, and you're like, all right, this is 82, so you write it on the record, and you draw a little line where you know the break starts, so you can 82, boom, and then you can have a little bit of prep, a little bit.
Yeah,
it's crazy too. Like a lot of the old vinyl DJs too, they were mixing in tempo, and there was nothing to even tell them they're in tempo. They just
other than their headphones,
and like just knowing the song,
feeling it. That's what always blows my mind about like scratch guys is like they're like just so comfortable with the way they go around the disc that when they let go, they know it's going to come back in time. Like that hurts my brain.
Yeah, and also
I don't understand that at all.
Scratching's insane. Scratching's too is also like knowing what samples to use, like the timing. Like the timing's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to scratching.
There's so much there. We really got in the woods here.
I know. That was a good question. Apparently,
restraint says Kleb Pleb.
Oh, look who showed up. What did he say? Oh, Kleb Pleb. I like that it. On my phone, it blurred out pleb.
Yeah, because it's
that's too offensive.
It's illegal.
Yeah.
We got one more from back right.
Oh, back right.
Damn.
Oh, we know that guy.
Fuck that guy. I'm just
Fuck
kidding.
that
I
dude.
love that guy.
Barefoot speakers, overrated or underrated?
Underrated.
I haven't.
Underrated, yeah.
Underrated.
Ooh.
I haven't heard
John,
them.
you came in for the perfect time for this.
I haven't heard them, so I don't know.
So there's a lot of different kinds of barefoots. So there's like
Sure.
the low tier, but dude, going back to Jade, he has like
He has the good.
he has like the big ones.
Yeah.
Like each one's like this big, and it has like two mid tops and then like a sub on
The
the
one
side.
on the side, that's
But
so
dude,
crazy.
But they're so strong. Like his studio, he's like, yeah. Like when I installed them, like he had someone come and linearize the studio, and the guy was like, yeah, these speakers are so strong. Like your desk should not be within 10 feet of these at all. Like you need to have 10 feet of legroom for the.
You're gonna get hearing damage from being
Dude,
too
no,
close or something.
the ones he have like in a linearized studio, those full version barefoots, it sounds like you're at a show. It's fucking ridiculous.
That sounds sick. I want that.
But also, I don't
Crazy.
know.
What speakers do you have?
But John's also. I have the Alpha Focals. I have the 6-inch ones.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay. Let's go.
I like those speakers a lot. They have really good low end in them for what they are. Like I was very amazed when I started using them, and I was like, God damn! Like even I've had people come over and they're like, "Where's the sub coming from?" I'm like, "That's just
It's
the speakers, dude." Like yeah,
Yeah,
it's just
nice.
they've just
Nice, yeah.
not like K or K's with their shitty static and shit low end.
Hey, it's throwing shade around here, dude.
Dude, K or K's are good beginner speakers, but goddamn, if you've been making music for a while, get rid of those. Get something else.
You think so?
Yes.
Restraint says moderately rated.
Well, he's
Never
also,
used them, but
he's also coming from the Genelec
Right.
realm.
I know.
His speakers are fucking crazy.
yeah.
They are retarded.
I almost, or back right, I think probably almost commented Barefoots or Genelecs, but I didn't
you
know if we
think
had all heard Genelec speakers before.
From what I've heard,
ATC.
Air
Air traffic control says me bag collector.
So obviously the Barefoots that I heard, obviously that was in like a linearized studio, and that's like the top of the line ones that Jade had. So yeah, those are fucking ridiculous. But also they were big speakers, and I think big speakers are always gonna sound crazy. But
Right, they're just moving a lot of air.
I would
Yeah,
like to say,
yeah.
actually, I guess I rescind overrated, underrated. I think I don't have enough of a comparison of different speakers and like things
Same.
I've heard to like have a better grasp, because I only have like comparison of things I've heard in other people's studios. I
Yeah,
will say
yeah.
though, the one speakers I really don't like is like the Yamaha H8s, which is like what a lot of people have. I don't know. I just don't. I don't like the way they sound, because I had a
Really?
well, I had a pair for a long time, and like I don't know, they always just sound like I don't know.
The high end is weird or something?
Well,
Yeah,
seems, boys, I have the best speakers in the house according to this guy.
I know, apparently. Holy shit.
Or at least ones he doesn't not like.
Someone's talking about the Kali speakers.
You just have
Those
more
are
rare
actually,
speakers than
I
ours.
guess.
Kalis those are actually good brand.
Kali.
PMC says meat bag. Restraint says PMC is sick and super underrated.
I've actually
he
never
thinks
heard of PMC.
Focal's also
haven't either.
underrated.
Focal I would say is underrated, because that was a speaker that I actually more John shit. John had those speakers, and that was actually the inspiration to getting mine. So
Oh, yeah.
so
yeah.
having John, and then John
Fair.
got Genelecs, and I was like, okay, well, whatever.
I know, yeah. So that's why the HSH is, because I had some like bullshit, very much starter, like basically 2-inch speakers. I mean, they're like 3-inch, 4-inch.
Oh,
whatever.
John relinearized his. Yeah, and that's like another thing with speakers. It's like the room and like how you set them up. Like like yeah, I'm shitting on KRKs and Yamahas, but like again, it's also like the room. So like the better the room, the better it's gonna like sound a little bit too.
And it does kind of seem like the KRKs and the HS8s are like the thing that like when you're right above like a starter producer and you're like, okay, I got to get some like better ones. It seems like so many producers do get those, you know?
Well,
And I'm sure there's a reason, because they are decent, but
Well-
then there is I'm sure a step where it's like, okay,
well,
let's
the
fucking upgrade.
reason I shit on KRKs is because like one, I've done tests with Kyoto on his and done tests on my roommates that
Kyoto has KRKs?
he used to. Not this was years ago. This is like back in like 2018. But we did like EQ Wizard and measuring of like KRKs, and it was like noticeable. I also did a test once where because my roommate had KRKs that we used to make music on in like high school that he's had forever. That he just finally got rid of, actually, which is crazy. He's had them for like 10 years. But yeah, on my speakers, plugging just those into like everything I have, there's like virtually no low end compared to like the alpha focals. It was just like a very noticeable just a lack phase delay of like low end. Like it just wasn't. It's there, but it's not the same. It's not as like there's no volume behind. Like there's low end, but there's no volume behind the low end.
That's crazy too, because you said you had 6-inch, right? Did you test it on 8-inch compared?
No, so the KRKs that he had are also 6-inch, so 6-inch comparison to another 6-inch.
Oh well, actually maybe that's better, because you're saying your sub is coming through and you have the 6-inch, right?
Maybe.
So that's saying something.
Yeah, and I don't know if it has anything to do with like voltage also, because plug in the KRKs into like the Apollo Twin, which has like a very high voltage output for like sound. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it
that
as well.
definitely affects some things.
Yeah, right.
Something about Elon Musk in the chat. But we are
Elon Trusk.
moving on here.
Yeah.
Folks, on to our summary for the episode here.
Yeah. We're wrapping this bitch up.
Yeah.
Folks,
Yeah.
146 is the episode number. Slomato is the guest.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Greendale is the place, and
Greendale.
Kroger Sparkling Water is the sponsor. Folks, in this episode, we talked about Modulate CC, which we still need to figure out what the name of that is called. John, Restraint Music. If you know what he was talking about.
Modulate CC, the Max Live tool.
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah, we couldn't find it for some
We couldn't
reason.
find it on the internet.
Regardless, if not, I will send you the thing that he also sent me. Oh, he's responding.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, he says.
Yep, see.
I got
There
you
we
one
go.
sec. You should be able to post a link in chat.
Unless we ban you.
Rolling sampler. We talked about that thing.
Oh, that thing
cool.
is sick. That
Yeah.
sounds like so much fun.
We talked about Samplet.
Samplet.
which-
Also banger.
You can just Google Samplet, sample the ETTE.
Mm-hmm.
It's French, I guess. Convolution reverb. Talked about how much we love that.
We touched on that a little bit.
A little bit.
We talked.
They go on forever about
I
it.
know.
Oh, I know, Sam. I had some tricks I wanted to throw him, but we moved on, and I was like,
It's
another
called
episode.
Modulate.
Modulate with no
Oh,
E by Chaos Culture.
Oh, that's the
Modulate.
CC. Okay, so that's what the CC at the end of it is. Okay, that makes a lot more sense now.
I think it's pronounced modulate.
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 Modulate. Modulate oblongata.
Have you found this new plugin Modulate, guys?
It's insane, dude.
Modulate.
Modulate.
You guys ever heard of Modulate? Modulate. Modulate.
So yeah,
Fire.
we talked about.
Fired it. You don't even know.
Let's set fire.
It's pronounced Perglebees, is what he says. That makes sense. So we talked about convolution, and
Pringle bees.
Pringle base.
Then we
Dude.
talked about the war.
We did talk about the war.
The Tom Finster War.
Yes,
Yeah.
the war with Dong Kong.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're coming for you.
Free 400.
We talked about your show
Yes.
coming up with the boys. April
Another
what?
war.
April 26th,
Yes. Or no,
25th.
April 25th.
25th.
Actually,
excuse me.
It's funny.
And with Restraint in the chat.
Oh.
With that guy too.
Oh, Heat? They put him on the
He-
lineup?
they put him on the lineup too.
Jesus
Threw him in
Christ.
there.
He's
Okay.
actually.
he's a direct support dog.
and
I know.
I
He's
heard it.
top
through-
dog over here.
I heard it through rumors. I got a little mole in the crew at the moment. That John's actually not gonna get paid at all. Everybody decided like fuck him.
Yeah, we
And
zeroed
they
out
just-
by unanimous vote. We zeroed out.
real
John.
easy vote. They're
Zero.
like, yeah, John's
just
not
zero-
making any money. So, but that's just what I heard, allegedly.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah. So, and then we moved on and we talked about 78 BPM. And then we also talked about Daws. And then
Dog.
He's got that doll in him.
He's got that dog.
we rounded off the episode with Jade Sequanda.
Oh.
That's right.
Folks, thanks for tuning in to episode 146.
Thank you for being here, everybody.
We would have to be. Oh shit, we're gonna be assimilated by the Don Kong crew.
Restraint says, hey, for winning the war, person who loses, we will have to be assimilated by the Don Kong crew.
John and Sarah
that
came up
crew
with
will
the
find
sickest
next
idea,
crew.
actually. Yeah. So whoever loses, we'll just say it now. they get assimilated by the next crew, and that crew challenges someone else. So like next we were saying we'll challenge like Whittler community. When Dong Kong loses, we will assimilate them, and then we get some of their members, and then we challenge the Whittler crew, and then whoever wins, and then they challenge someone.
It's like the bracket. It's like March. It's like March Madness, but for fucking electronic music.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah. And you just start like little crews.
It's the Borg, literally.
But it's literally only like 4 groups.
All right, folks. Well,
it's like 4 groups.
Speaking of the Borg, we're out of here, folks.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
and then yeah.
Thank you, Slomato.
Dude,
thanks for
you're the fucking best. Always. It's such a fun time having you on.
Where can people find you on the internet?
Everywhere. I'm on everything.
Omnipresent.
At Slomato?
At Slomato on everything.
Omnimato.
Okay. Boom.
If you want my socials, Slomato. I'm on all music streaming platforms.
Boom.
Also.
You got it.
Everything.
We did it, folks.
Peace out.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks for having me.